So I know a lot of you guys don't have a lot of room at home, so we're just going to step 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, which is what we're going to do for the examinations as well, lightly and fast. So I'm going to do 2 combinations of Sanbon Zuki, just lightly, there and back. And then I'm going to do 2 fast. And that's exactly what we do as part of the examination. So we can see on the video, you're doing the technique lightly and fast. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take the headset off for this. Welcome to this tutorial. We're going to cover Sanbon Zuki. So it's 1 step, 3 punches. First punch to the head, and then we're going to do 2 punches to the body. Now we're going to cover some advanced concepts with the hip movement and some other stuff within this tutorial. We're not looking for perfect technique at yellow belt, because this is where we first use this combination, 7th Kyu. As we progress through the grades, we expect our members to improve their technique accordingly. So, for instance, a Sanbon Zuki being executed by someone going for 7th Kyu should be way different to someone going for 4th Kyu, brown belt. So we're looking for this improvement. So we're going to be covering hip movement within the punches and stepping in a certain way. So let's get to it. So from Gidambarai, first movement, pull with the front leg, push with the back hip and the right side of the body. So from here I pull and push. So I'm halfway with my knees bent. Arm is still in the Gidambarai position, right fist is hikite. Now I'm going to land, punch, Jodan, Oizuki. So it's a punch to the head with 1 step. From here, I'm going to show this from the front shortly. But from here, I'm going to relax my left hip. You could probably see a slight movement. And then reverse punch. Then from here, punching on the spot, again, I relax my left hip and then bring it back square for the punch. So I'm going to pull with my front leg, push with my back hip and the left side of my body. You notice my arm has stayed. I'm going to drive off my right leg. Oizuki. Okay, so from here, I'm going to relax my right hip and then drive in reverse punch. Once more, I'm going to relax my right hip and fire the 3rd punch, Chokozuki. Pull and push. Drive off the left leg this time. My hips come square. So from here, I relax my left hip. Reverse punch Chudan, relax my left hip again and bring it square for a straight punch to the body. Stepping backwards, pull. As I step back, my right hip is slightly out. And then as I execute the first punch, my right hip comes square. Okay, on the reverse punch, I'm going to soften my right hip back. Relax, and then drive it square for reverse punch. Again on the 3rd punch, I'm going to relax the right hip and bring it square for the 3rd punch. Pull. And from here, step in, left hip is out slightly, this arm has stayed. Try and keep the shoulders the same. Try not to do this. It's the hip, small movement. And then, as I execute the punch, the left hip comes square. And from here, left hip softens, and then reverse punch. left hip softens, and then straight punch. Pull. Step in. If you notice, my right hip is out slightly. It comes square on the first punch. Soften the right hip. Square on the second punch. Soften the right hip. Square on the third punch. So I'm going to show this technique from the front now. So I'm going to pull with the front leg, drive with the right side of the body. If you notice, my feet are coming in a straight line, and many dojo go in and out when they step. And that's fine, but my instructor always taught us that to move in a straight line. And to move in a straight line, the feet are like they're on a railway track. And the knees come in very slightly, with the inner thighs a little bit tight. So you move in a straight line rather than arcing. But if you're training at another dojo and your sensei steps in then out, then carry on with it. There's no right or wrong way. This is just the way I was taught to step straight. So from here, I'm going to pull with the front leg. I'm going to drive with the right hip, right side of my body from here. And then I'm going to land with the first punch to the head. My left hip is going to stay relaxed. And then it's going to come round square as I punch. So on this next technique, I soften my left hip and then hit reverse punch. And on the third punch, I soften the left hip back and then bring it square as I punch. Pull and push. Then from here, I'm going to step with the left leg, drive off the right leg. From here, I soften my right hip and reverse punch. I'm going to pull, soften the right hip again, and then bring it back. Now I'm going to step backwards. So again, pull. As I step, hips come square,